autopsy report. Have I let her outwit me again? Appointed Attorney Shields. Here is the autopsy report from earlier. I apologise for the delay. No, it's alright, thank you. Stabbed to the neck by a sharp metal object, victim died instantly. I gladly accept it. Mr. Shields? I don't believe it's necessary to hold hands while exchanging documents. I'd advise you to stop. Huh? Persist any longer, and I shall call on the strength of the Goddess of Law. I'll be careful. Justine, well done. Just as I planned. I only acted in accordance to your instructions. The autopsy report came straight from the police. I can't refute it. However, if the murder weapon wasn't the dog, Dogen will be cleared of suspicion. The merciful goddess of law so decrees, if you choose to yield now, your badge will not be taken. What will you do, sir? She says that, but... my answer remains the same. Judge Corney is as I said before. I will see my job through. I will not yield to threats. So even now, you still refuse to give up. If you want to keep your badge, this may be your last chance. Right now, I'm a defense attorney's assistant. What I protect is not my badge, but my client. The Goddess of Law grows weary of your sentiment. Now we're talking. Miles is starting to understand that a defense attorney never gives up. Actually, those were the words of your old man. My father. He really is in your blood. You're the spitting image of him right now. You said it yourself. You've changed since you were tainted by Von Karma. It's only now that I've actually come to believe it. Mr. Shields. Well then, Miles. Now's the time to put those skills to the test. Think beyond your limits. If the murder weapon was a sharp object, does that really negate your reasoning? The murder weapon was a sharp object. That's it! There were 5 chisels placed inside this special cell. Dogen is a former assassin. It's quite possible he could kill someone with just a chisel. In that case, the weapon that killed Horace Knightley was... Is that all? Well then, I suppose you'll be giving up. Evidence is everything, didn't you say? The murder weapon was a sharp metal object. However, such a weapon has yet to be found. What? What are you trying to say? The only decisive evidence is the actual murder weapon itself. And that was in plain sight this whole time. The real murder weapon is... Dogen's chisel. What did you say? Take responsibility for your own statements. The scene of the crime was Mr. Knightley's cell. You said so yourself. If the evidence changes, then so will my logic. That too is courtroom procedure, is it not? If the chisel was used, then that means the killer was human. However, the fact remains that we cannot deny the security photo. Yeah, what about that photo? I'll give you the answer. This photo shows the moment the dog leapt at the victim. Someone attacked the dog. Dogen's dog leapt at Knightley. However, the victim did not die at that time. Didn't die. He was only knocked unconscious. The dog didn't move a dead body, it moved the unconscious Knightley. Ah. And the real killer was its owner. I see. If the victim was moved, it would have been possible for Dogen to commit the murder. and use the murder weapon. Indeed, the killer is... Sir Handogan. It can only be you. I bet your teacher used to write on your report card. Needs to pay more attention on what others say. I would think that describes you more. We examine that room, every crook and granny, right Justine? Not a nook and granny. We examined all 4 of Mr. Dogan's chisels, and found no traces of blood. Thank you, Judge Courtney. Thanks to you, I am now certain. Thanks to me? Whatever do you mean? When I came here earlier, I saw 5 chisels. That's right, there were definitely 5 there before. So the one that disappeared was... the smallest one, presumably for portable use. Dogan, where is that chisel? I'm not free to leave this place. I've no need of a portable chisel. Not free to leave. In that case, he mustn't have been free to hide the deadly chisel either. Dogan, you just dug your own grave. It seems you know something. Would you care to show it? Wait, what? Dogan couldn't leave, so the place he hid the chisel is... the special cell, duh. Dogan is a prisoner, so he can't leave his cell freely. Perhaps he could have sent his dog out to dispose of it. But he would not have been able to confirm the weapon's location. So what does that leave? Above all else, special metal tools are allowed in the cell. Even if one chisel were to appear here, no one would suspect a thing. You'd be a fool not to take advantage of that. I see. Of course, it's always safest if you do something yourself. But I examined everything. I didn't find any hiding places in his cell. Pardon me. I am certain that the murder weapon is here. The reason you haven't found it is because it was cleverly hidden. You say I hid it? Where exactly? The moment of truth. Think, where could he have hidden it? I have to remember everything up to this point. There must be some clue. Does this mean what I think it means? Well, let's get going, Mr. Edgeworth. Come to think of it, that dog hasn't barked at me once today. Previously, when I came to the special cell, it barked on Dogan's command. That's it. That's what's been out of place. There's just one place he could have hidden the murder weapon. Giving up already? How dull, how dull. I will present evidence. This piece of evidence shows where you concealed the murder weapon. Hasn't your dog been awfully quiet today? Now that you mention it, it hasn't barked at all. Before it was... Sir Handogan, open that dog's mouth now. Anubis doesn't bark needlessly. I ordered him to do that before. In that case, order it to bark now. Naturally. You should be able to, if you have nothing to hide. Ooh. It was inevitable. Anubis, show them your mouth. Aha! As you can see, a dog of this size can easily conceal a small chisel in its... What? Why a chisel? The dog really had one in its mouth. I thought he was unusually quiet. Was he unable to follow the discussion? Sebastian? Could you call the forensics department? Urgently, please. I got it. Poor guy. Oh, pardon me. The reaction. The chisel tests positive for blood. What? I guess that proves my theory wasn't just nonsense. Would this chisel be the murder weapon then? It reacted positively for blood. There is no doubt about that. There are traces of blood. Dogen hid it inside his dog's mouth. There is a small bell attached to it. Mr. Sirhan Dogen, now that the murder weapon has been found, I must ask you for your testimony. We know how your dog got to the detention center, and we found the murder weapon. Do you still think you can talk your way out of this? Interesting. This guy, even at a time like this, he's still smiling. Well, Anubis, it seems everyone has become suspicious of you. It's quite troubling, but since it has come to this, we have no choice but to tell the truth. I did not kill anyone. I've long since grown weary of killing. What's this? His face looks completely composed. It seems we'll need to listen to Mr. Dogen's explanation. Please, promptly give your testimony. Certainly. Oh. Oh god, I don't like how you can't see his pupil. Literally just a white blob. First of all, I would like you to explain my motive. I do not know anyone by the name of Knightley. We share no connection. That's a lie. So, I wouldn't think some motive for murder would just appear out of nowhere. Or are you insinuating my Anubis had a motive? He only bares his fangs at others on my command. Right, well I think I know what I have to do here. I do not hunger for blood so much as to kill a man I do not even know. Coming from an assassin, it sure is persuasive. An assassin who only kills acquaintances. I doubt that would be profitable. I may kill strangers in my line of work, but I never make it personal. Is there evidence that shows a connection between Knightley and Dogen? Yes. I should thoroughly review the evidence once more. I don't need to. I know what the connection is. You can see it in the background. For starters. I'm only going to get to press 2 things. Actually, no, not even 2. This is the only one I'm going to be able to press. I could press all the others too, but yeah, whatever. You cannot kill without a motive. Hardly what I'd expect an assassin to say. I don't spill blood needlessly. I may be required for my job, but not in my personal affairs. They're a little different, isn't that right, Anubis? I do not know anyone by the name of Knightley. We share no connection. You lie! Ba-dum-bum, ba-dum-bum. You've lost your touch, Sir Dogen. If you had your dog clean up after you, you should have disposed of this too. This is a record of a correspondence chess game found in the victim's cell. This record, and the chessboard in your cell, both clearly depict the same game. Ooh! What? I've heard that the number of possible chess positions is around 10 to the power of 120. 10 times 10, 120 times. 100. 1,000. Is that even a real number? Indeed. There's absolutely no way these two could have coincided by chance. Tell us your reason for killing Knightley. Unless you intend to explain this as a coincidence. Okay. Well, don't they say that the truth is stranger than fiction? It is as you said, this is merely a coincidence. But there's no way that that could have happened. My correspondence chess opponent was the victim in this incident. What a horrible coincidence. Aren't you shocked too, Anubis? Okay. Looks like I'll have to tell them the truth, Anubis, my boy. The animal show, or something. That was when everyone left. Anubis brought the body to my cell. He had already been stabbed in the neck with the murder weapon. I did not wish to be suspected, so I had Anubis carry the body to the workroom. After that, I pulled out the murder weapon and returned to me. Oh, he pulled out the murder weapon and returned to me. So you're saying the one who pulled the weapon out was Anubis? That's right. If I pulled out the murder weapon here, the blood would have been a problem. Mr. Edgeworth, isn't this not what that Saw It guy said? A large black dog was biting into the neck of the victim. Oh. What did you say? It was a truly hellish scene. That dog killed him. I see, so that means Saw It witnessed the moment the murder weapon was pulled out. Oh yes, that prisoner's testimony. It surprised me when I first heard it. It's not often that Anubis makes a blunder like that. Right, boy? Now, I believe that that explains my actions. I did not kill him. All I did was remove the murder weapon. Now, will that be all? Anubis is getting tired.
Objection!
Who the hell was that? Oh, it was him. I forgot about how smooth his voice was. Oh there, just a moment, Mr. Dogan. Mr. Shields. Isn't there one thing you haven't explained? Why would you need to pull out the murder weapon in the first place? That's right. I understand why he'd move the body to draw suspicion away from him. But he didn't need to retrieve the murder weapon. I thought him just a fool, but how quickly his scent has changed. Care to elaborate, Mr. Dogan? It was because of this bell. The bell attached to the murder weapon, and the bell on my dog's neck. Okay. They share a distinctive shape, wouldn't you say? The assassin Sir Handogan's trademark. Okay. An assassin's trademark? The blind assassin. That's why he doesn't have any pupils. Sir Handogan. He always appears at the sound of a bell. Right. The sound of a bell ringing in the dark of night is said to be the last thing his target hears. You remember well. It's been a while since you last saw my bells, after all. When I prosecuted you in court, I confiscated a knife with the bell attached to it. Yes, my bells. There are only 2 in the world. Only 2? They're custom made, attached to my knife and Anubis' collar. Even though I can only rely on my ears, I can easily identify them. Alas, one has been confiscated and is not in my possession. Right, okay. So attach the knife that Anubis, custom made only to exist, the knife has been confiscated. When Anubis brought the body here, I heard a familiar sound. I thought my knife must have been embedded in the body. So imagine my confusion when I found out that it was merely a chisel with my bell attached. Indeed. Your knife is nothing like this chisel. Either way, those bells are my trademark. Moreover, I'm the only one in this prison who uses chisels. With all this, I knew I would be falsely suspected. So, I removed the murder weapon and hid it. So you're claiming that you only moved the body? Didn't I tell you? That chisel isn't mine. If you think I'm lying, go ahead and check for my fingerprints. Sebastian. Me? But how do I check for forensics? Yes, ma'am. Oh, Jesus. Every time he does that red line in his face. Reaction. We have fingerprints. They're Knightley's, Justine. What about Dogan's? Nope, just Knightley's. I love how his hair makes a natural question mark. And there's no evidence of prints being wiped either. Only Knightley's fingerprints? It can't be. Should we re-examine it? See now. I never even touched that chisel, because I ordered Anubis to carry it in his mouth. In other words, the fingerprints... well, pardon me, belong to the chisel's original owner. The murder weapon's owner was the victim? This is perplexing. At any rate, I did not touch the murder weapon. In other words, the killer could not have been me. Isn't that right? I have nothing to refute that. How could this... is he really not the killer? Could Dogen's testimony actually be true? This can't be. It seems this is sufficient enough not to warrant any further explanation. As it stands, you have not changed the state of this case. I believe this is more than enough reason for us to relieve you of your badge. To save any needless fuss, I suggest you hand over your badge now. This is bad, sir. They sound serious. It's regrettable, but... with those prints as decisive evidence, I'll have to rethink my logic from step one. But there are still many unexplained things. Why would Mr. Knightley be carrying a chisel? It could be used for many things, perhaps even prison escapes. Well then, how did he carry it into the prison? I mean, the prisoners aren't even allowed cutlery. Right, Mr. Edgeworth? Mr. Edgeworth? Even if your reasoning is off at first, you shouldn't let that confuse you. The most important thing is to arrive at the truth, isn't that right? It doesn't matter how you get there. The end result is to save Simon. We have to do everything we can for his sake. Well said, Kay. Nice one, Kay. I really want to scout you for the law firm now. Remember when Uncle Ray said a defense attorney never gives up? Miles, do you understand the true meaning behind those words? The true meaning of those words? Defense attorneys carry the fate of their client on their shoulders. You are the only person your client can rely on. Just like with Mr. Keyes, we're the only ones who can save him now. We are linked by fate to our clients. That is why we must never give up. There's no way Uncle Ray can go against the teachings of Gregory. So, what will you do? Currently, I'm a defense attorney's assistant. No, an assistant at my father's firm. I have made a commitment to this case, therefore, if I don't save my client, I cannot say I've achieved it. I will abide by this. To save Simon Keyes. No matter how many times my logic fails, I will always find another possibility. Okay, you're finally back. Well then, let's search for that other possibility. To start with, do you think there was a way Mr. Knightley could have brought the chisel into the prison? The method Knightley used to bring the chisel into the prison was... the chessboard, I guess. Yeah, because it folds. Normally, metal objects can't be brought into the detention centre, or the prison. They'd just be caught by the security gate. However, there is one way to avoid this, and that is if they're sent in a package to the detention centre. That gate is only used on people. In other words, packages sent to the detention centre undergo a simpler check. So they don't use a metal detector for that. This never should have happened. It seems the guards were too careless. Knowing this, Knightley asked Simon to send him a package. Namely, a chessboard containing the chisel. Well, this has solved up one of our problems. The fact that the chisel was not Mr. Dogen's, but Mr. Knightley's. Yeah, hid a chisel inside to get it past security. Very clever. Given this, one major issue remains. The security camera shows a dog attacking the victim. As long as that exists, I will maintain that Dogen is the killer. But Dogen never touched the murder weapon. I'm stumped. We also desire a conclusion to this matter. Edgeworth, we can use one of my secret weapons, sir. Secret weapon number 4. The video analyzing machine. Mr. Analysis. What's with that ridiculous name? I named it myself, sir. This will let us analyze video footage in detail. Go ahead. You'll soon see I'm not lying. I don't know what will come of this, but all we can do now is investigate. Mr. Edgeworth, do you know how to use Mr. Analysis? A video analysis machine. Should I hear how to use it? Yeah, sure. I'm pretty sure I used this in, Ace Attorney on case 5? Was it case 5? Case 1 was tutorial, 2 was with Mia and Maya, then the samurai, then it was Turnabout Goodbyes. Oh yeah, it was case 5. Because we had to use the video analyzing machine to point out the murder weapon and certain points. In certain points in the video. Either way, Detective Gumshoe, could you show me how to use it? Of course, sir. Yeah, it's the same. Fundamentally, it's the same as investigating a crime scene. You just examine anything that piqued your curiosity. To examine, just press the X button. Now I'd like you to look at the buttons below the monitor. The left and right buttons will rewind and fast forward, respectively. The center button lets you pause the video. Let's make good use of it to advance our investigation, sir. To rewind and fast forward, I used the Y and A buttons. To pause, I press the B button. Right, okay. While paused, you can go to the previous frame or the next frame. You just use the same left and right buttons as before, sir. Next, I'll explain how to zoom in. Just point the cursor at the area you want to zoom in on and press the button on the upper left of Mr. Analysis. The one that says Zoom Plus. Seems I can also use the L button to zoom in. After you've zoomed in, you can examine it just like you would the original image. Use the previous frame and next frame buttons to examine frame by frame. But you can't actually play back the video in this mode, so keep that in mind. And what should I do if I want to zoom out? Just press the top left button of Mr. Analysis again, sir. Now it should say zoom minus. And that concludes the explanation, sir. Well then, let's turn on Mr. Analysis. Use Mr. Analysis to examine any suspicious part of the video, sir. This is the video from the detention center's camera. I believe this was the moment when Knightley was being attacked by the dog. If that wasn't the case, then what does it show? Is the person in this video really Knightley? What is the true form of the black silhouette attacking the person? I should check the video and try to find the answers to these questions. There could be unexpected things in unexpected places. So be sure to check every nook and cranny of the video, sir. What part of the video is strange? Oh. Whoa. Holy crap. Okay, so that's how I do it. There's L. Oh wait, I've just realised it's on the wrong screen. My goodness. Go forward. Yeah, it's definitely a dog. I fear we have made a grave miscalculation. This animal, this silhouette, no matter how you look at it, it's not a dog. This animal is... okay, I think I know who that actually was. It's a bear. From the silhouette, I'd say the animal is not a dog, but a bear. So then, in that photo I took, the footprints must have belonged to this bear, yes. Tunnel footprints. Prints belong to a bear. Ah. Did you say a bear? The stuntman is the first to come to mind. Now that we know this black shadow isn't a dog but a bear, there's a good possibility that the man being attacked is not Knightley. Whatever can show that this man isn't Knightley should be somewhere in the video, wouldn't it, sir? Since his face is not visible, it would be difficult to get direct confirmation. However, perhaps there is something indirectly reflected.